Well, Treasurer Jim Chalmers is going to use talks in Washington to push for Australia's role in securing key minerals as part of the new national stockpile. For more, joining us live is the former Trump trade advisor, Kellyanne Shaw. Kellyanne, thank you so much for joining us. It's certainly one that we're hearing Treasury Scott Bessent is frustrated with the lack of the urgency. What can you tell us in terms of this meeting?
Yeah, thank you so much. And Secretary Bessent has gone on record as saying that he's been trying to organize this meeting since last June when Canada first set up this critical mineral action plan working group with other G7 members, plus Australia, South Korea, and India. And I think part of the challenge is before the holiday break, countries around the world were really feeling the squeeze from China's rare earth export controls. But because, as part of the US China detente, they agreed to suspend those controls for a year, there is concern on the US side that other countries are going to grow complacent, that they're not going to see this as such an urgent issue. But that November deadline is going to come up very quickly. And if major G7 economies don't have an alternative plan in place, China's just going to exercise this chokehold once again in a few months' time.
Because we certainly hear that China dominates the critical minerals production, don't we?
Absolutely. And not only the production, they have about 70% of the production of critical minerals, even more for some of the rare earths and rare earth magnets in particular, but 90% for the processing. And there's really not a viable alternative at this point. Saw that Australia, as a major source country, as well as a Western ally, has decided to set up a stockpile of antimony and gallium, which I think is a great first step. But the other countries are going to have to figure out a joint market to try to get around China, which includes not only mining and the sourcing of minerals, but also that processing point, which is much more difficult.
Yeah, you make a really interesting point there about the processing and also the antimony and the gallium on our critical minerals list. But what is not on our critical mineral list is uranium, which we have a third of the world's supply. And we have that massive debate here where we are certainly divided, where places like, America are fast-tracking nuclear power plants and big deals like Meta. So that's certainly one here. What can you tell us from America in terms of critical minerals, and perhaps do you know why that uranium is not on our critical mineral list?
Yeah, well, I can't speak to why it may or may not be in Australia specifically, but what I'll say is, look, the politics around nuclear power ebb and flow. They have in the United States as well. But I think at this point, just given how severe and significant this potential application of export controls is, there really is an all of government shift. And there's a shift in the minds of the American people as well to try to onshore some of this production here in the United States. And when it comes to nuclear power and giving Meta the license, that has a lot to do with data centers wanting to get the edge up in the AI race. And part of that depends on who wins the energy race. So it really is an all of the above energy policy as well, which has certainly helped get it across the finish line in the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. And we look at the needs for energy, but also with AI, who we certainly hear from many experts in the AI industry how much energy it is going to use.
Absolutely. And whoever wins the energy race is who wins the AI race. And so this really is coming to a head in the next couple of years. One country or block of countries will prevail over the others. And so just as much as advancing some of these chips and technologies, we have to find alternative energy sources or the West is going to lose out in this race.
Yeah, also that race between fusion and fission, which sounds like it could be a bit of a long while coming, but certainly on the radar for many countries. Kellyanne Shaw, always appreciate your time and expertise. Thank you so much.